In this video, I'm going to show you how to master the third shot drop with perfect form and strategy. Hi, my name's Tanner with the Pickleball Clinic. Let's get into it. The third shot drop is widely accepted as one of the most important shots in all of pickleball. Ben Johns, the world's #1 player, says so himself. The reason being, for the serving team, since you guys are starting at the baseline and your opponents are starting at the net, they have a massive advantage. The scale is weighted like this with you to lose the point. If you can hit an effective third shot drop, it will even out the scale and get the match or the point to neutral. That's why in pickleball, you can only score when you're the serving team because you're at a massive disadvantage and you really have to fight for your points. Going over the actual form, what I like to tell people is pretend that you're throwing a beanbag. This motion is identical to the third shot drop. Like this compared to this. It's the exact same thing. The next thing to think about is think of hitting the shot with your body. This is not a third shot drop. This is. Think of guiding it and lifting your body to hit this shot over. Do not muscle it. You'll have no control. Starting with the footwork, the first thing to note is that I'm not stepping paddle and foot side. This we should never do. I'm always stepping paddle and opposite foot. The reason is if you hit a successful drop, you can instantly step off your back foot to approach the kitchen. Moving on to our grip pressure, we want to hold the paddle very loose, about a 3 to 4 out of 10. The reason being, when the ball hits our paddle with a loose grip, it will absorb into it and then bounce off, giving you much more feel and control. If we have a tight death grip, which a lot of people have and they don't even notice while they're playing because they're so fired up, when the ball hits your paddle, it's going to instantly like ricochet, hit and just bounce off. You won't be able to feel the ball and tell where it's going. Moving on to our swing, this is what tennis players struggle with the most. They think to actually make contact to the ball. That's not the case. In pickleball, we want to think push or carry. How would I do that? I'm just simply doing this motion. Notice I'm keeping my paddle out in front and simply lifting the ball. If my eyes were closed, it's the exact same motion. As soon as you add in this hit, it makes the ball go far and isn't a soft shot. The whole point of the third shot drop is to loft it in the kitchen, soft through the air, so while it's traveling into the kitchen, you can follow it up. As the ball's approaching us, we should be able to pause and hold our paddle here. Notice I have no backswing in the shot. The ball's coming in, I'm here to here. I finish at about chin height and no more. The paddle is in my vision, my peripheral vision, the entire time. This little tidbit that I'm about to give you will forever change your drop. That is, when the ball is hit to us, when it bounces, we want to let it bounce, rise all the way to the apex, the highest point, and then start to drop before we hit it. This means if the ball's coming at us, we don't stay stationary. We might have to step back, we might have to go to it, we might have to go side to side, we might have to create space. We always want to get in this habit of hitting it right when it starts to drop. The reason is, at that point, the ball has the least amount of spin and is moving the slowest. The biggest mistake you could make as the drop's coming in, we short hop it, which means we catch it right when it bounces. That is horrible for control. For strategy on where we aim our third shot drops, we want to envision we have two opponents, one here and one here. Let's pretend they're both right-handed. We want to completely X out and pretend that we can't see or hit to the court where their forehand is. People can generate so much power with their forehand. However, with their backhand, it's much harder to generate power, meaning it gives you more room for error to hit a higher drop because you won't be punished if you drop to their backhand. I'm going to demonstrate I'm both of the opponents. So let's pretend I'm this player. If you're hitting a drop We want to avoid this side of the court. We should be targeting right here. Pretend we have a hula hoop right in the middle. Why? Because I have to hit this shot. Now, let's pretend I'm the opponent on the left side of the court. This is the more dominant player side. If you drop the ball right here, pretend there's a hula hoop here, I'll be able to step in and hit a strong attack. However, if you bring the ball to this corner, as soon as I cross my body, I can no longer hit a forehand. So right here, I can no longer hit a forehand. Forehand, forehand. Now everything is backhand. So this whole side is safe for the left side player. You'd be amazed at how effective aiming to their backhands are. You can do this the entire game. A lot of people go up a lot of points and change their strategy. Do what got you there. Drop to the backhand. Check out where my drops land. These will be ideal if you're facing two right-handed players. If the normal push drop is very easy for you, you can now begin to start dabbling with more aggressive drops. We do that by hitting topspin drops. How do we do that? We are simply going to flick our wrist, very subtle, when we hit the ball. The way this shot works with topspin, the longer it travels through the air, the more times it will spin and the faster it will accelerate. So hitting these drops from far back on the court will really give your opponents trouble if you can get it to bounce in the kitchen. I'm going to show you what they would look like, and then we'll go over the actual form. Notice my form looks the exact same, but the shot is way more aggressive. All I'm doing is when I make contact, I'm thinking of just brushing up the back of the ball slightly. Look how my paddle is, like this with my wrist. I'm not turning my wrist over. I'm not adding any acceleration. The only acceleration I'm adding is up the back of the ball. This is what my normal drop looks like. Push. Now this is what the top spin drop looks like. So here, push. So right when I make contact, slight flick, and then push. We finish out the shot. It's very subtle, and if you can get comfortable with it, it will make it such a tough time for your opponents to hit a good shot if you can get this ball in. Thanks for watching. The Pickleball Clinic has one of the biggest pickleball Facebook groups. If you want all things pickleball 24/7, check out that group.